Welcome to Inside the Audition, the podcast where we go behind the scenes for a deep dive look into the world of auditions. I'm Joe Lars Larson, creator of Actors Audition Club, an international community helping actors book your dream roles in TV, film, and theater.
And I'm Brandon Knox, actor, producer, and co-host. Each episode, we chat with actors and industry professionals to share their audition experiences, insights, and advice.
We provide actors with actionable tips, strategies, and resources to help you elevate your auditions.
We demystify the often intimidating and misunderstood world of auditions to help you succeed.
So whether you're just starting out on your acting journey or you're a seasoned pro, join our Actors Audition Club members as we go
Inside the Audition.
Happy Inside the Audition Day. It's Wednesday. I'm Joey Freddie Larson here in our Toronto HQ, Laughing Vikings, Actors Audition Club. And we've got Brandon Knox, a.k.a. the BK Broiler, a.k.a. Fort Knox, on the other line here from the Danforth in Toronto. How you doing, BK?
I am fantastic, Lars. I'm feeling good. Nice to have podcast day back.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it ever gone? What do you
No,
mean?
it wasn't.
Or you just mean like...
It was gone for a
like,
week, and then
Yeah. It was gone for a week. It was like,
a week,
where'd
whole week.
podcast day go? And then we're back. Yes,
And then it
another
arrived.
podcast day. Yes. Yeah, it was a great week. It was very busy. I had, well, you were in one of them. We had a couple corporate shows with Big Time Murder, with TorontoMurderMystery.com, and those were fun. Then I had another matinee improv / murder mystery show. Then we had Comedy Alley on the weekend. I was tired on the weekend. I needed Sunday. Sunday was one of those days where it was like, I need a lazy Sunday. Not that it was that lazy, but I needed it a day.
That's fair.
That was my dark day. Sunday was my dark day where I was like, I can't have too many shows every day. I was had to be on too many times. So welcome to the podcast, though. This is episode 146. Make sure those of you who are watching live on Facebook and on YouTube, can you do us a massive fucking favor? Like huge. Do us a huge favor. Like the hugest of favors. This is a really big ask. I'm asking you to go boop, boop, or boop. All I'm asking you to do is to click share. Share the link to the feed that you're watching right now so that people on your Facebook feed or your YouTube feed can see it. So just smash share right now. Share this out with your actor friends. We do this every week live at 2 p.m., but you can also listen on all podcast platforms. And a little birdie told me everyone who is interacting in the show today, because this is interactive. This isn't one of those podcasts where you just sit back lazily listening. No, you can ask questions, you can comment, you can interact. And we've added something new, and it rhymes with schmiveaway. And it also rhymes with schmrise. That's right. We're having a schmiveaway, also known as a prize giveaway at the end of this episode. And we're going to start doing this. We've got a random generator. So everyone who types a comment in, and you can only do it once. The computer only accepts one entry per person. So all of you hackers out there, don't think you can hack our giveaway tool. All you got to do throughout the episode is interact. You can ask a question. You can leave a comment, and you're going to be automatically entered into our draw. We're going to do it live on the podcast at the end of the episode. Very exciting. You're going to get to see technology and a random generator. But you're going to get to see technology and a random prize generator in action. But to win a prize, you got to be a part of the show. So you got to interact, leave a comment. Let us know, first of all, who are you and what city are you watching from? And then at any point through the episode, you want to share something, you want to comment, you want to ask a question, do that. And at the end of the show, you're going to be in the draw to win a prize. What's the prize, you say? You got to stick around to find out. All right. I'm excited for that. That's big.
Yeah.
We've done something. Shout out to StreamYard for adding this giveaway tool, technology. So again, all you got to do, any comment, you can start right now. We got 10 of you watching right now. And I don't see, oh, now we got 14 people watching. I don't see any of you putting those comments in, which means you're not going to win a prize. So at any point, ask a question. Start off just by telling us what city you're in, and that's going to get you in the draw. But later on in the episode, you want to comment, you want a question. We love the interactive bits. So thank you. A little later, we also got a little guest here, maybe two guests. We're going to pop in. Ooh, Lynn McIntosh. She's first into it. Bring that up. Lynn McIntosh, Stratford, Ontario, I assume. She's probably walking around a park reciting Shakespeare right now, as people do in Stratford. I think everyone a thespian in Stratford? There's no regular people in Stratford, is there? Nobody just like works at a grocery store in Stratford. Everyone is Shakespearean in the Parker. Yes. Well, Lynn, you're in the draw now, so stick around. Now you got to stick around to the end of the show. Otherwise, you might lose out on the prize. And you got to be here to win it, too. That's what I'm going to say, too. So today we got a great episode. We're going to get into speaking a lot about auditions. As you know, here at Actors Audition Club, we help professional actors shoot their self-tape auditions without stress, without anxiety, without tech troubles, without having to bug their family and friends, so that ultimately you can transform your auditions, elevate your performance, and create your dream roles in TV, film, and theater. And a big way that we're able to do that is both Brandon and I have studied with the Tom Todoroff Conservatory through their weekly workshops, through their summer intensives, and through their full conservatory program. And Tom's a master director at specifically audition technique. So we're going to share some of that, because we also have a free masterclass coming up that you can enroll in with Tom Todoroff on July 12th from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is a virtual done via Zoom. Tom's been kind enough to donate his time to work with our members and clients here at Actors Audition Club. We'll drop the link. You can get registered for that. But today we wanted to take a little time just highlighting Tom, highlighting some of his technique, talking about how we work with actors here, which is largely based on what we've learned from Tom and his studio. So it's going to be a great episode. And then a little later on, we're going to talk about our shows, and we'll do that giveaway for everyone who's commenting in the comments. So make sure to comment throughout. So what can we tell you about Tom? Longtime actor, longtime producer, longtime director, and coach, speaker. A lot of his technique is based on this book here, Audition, which is one of the best books that you could possibly own as an actor who wants to improve their auditions. Michael Shirtliff was the casting director for Bob Fosse. He was a casting director on Broadway shows like Chicago and Beckett, and then also the films The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman, and also he was casting director for Jesus Christ Superstar. So very prolific casting director, but he wrote this book called The Audition, and in The Audition, there are 12 audition guideposts, and a lot of Tom's work in coaching is based on those 12 guideposts that Tom worked with Michael on while Michael was still living. And then after Michael passed away, or sort of before he passed away, they were talking, and Tom added 3 extra guideposts to it. So now Tom works off of a 15 guidepost system, but largely based on Michael Shirtliff's work. So we're going to outline some of that. Brandon, you have our flashcards, our handy dandy, trusty Todoroff flashcards. So these are the guideposts. So we're going to outline some of this. First, you want to outline the 3 techniques and the 3 tenets of acting. First of all, what are the 3 tenets of acting?
The 3 tenets are relaxation, concentration, and imagination.
Right. So a lot of your studying and a lot of classes and a lot of my conservatory work is how to relax, how to concentrate, and then how to use your full imagination. Tom often says acting is believing. So if you don't have a vivid imagination and you're not able to pretend that dragons are there and other mythical beasts and creatures, or just to have the imagination that if it's a really dramatic scene, for example, if it's a death scene, you got to be imagining the death of a loved one in front of you, or seeing the death of your spouse. I don't know why I'm going to death right away. But it is one of the guideposts. We'll talk about it. I would say it falls under guidepost 2.
Yeah, it's also
And-
knowing your own nervous system so that you know
Right.
how and when you can relax. So that way you're completely in control of your emotions, your bodily functions, like everything that you need as your tool, as your instrument, as a performer. If you're relaxed and you're able to relax yourself in stressful situations, all the better for you.
Right. Because what's a stressful situation? A stressful situation is when you're on stage on opening night and there's 2,000 people in a theater and you got a big fucking monologue right off the top that this is your first performance with a live audience. Or you're on set on a $100 million show and there's 400 crew and 600 extras and the director yells action on that huge crane shot and the crane's coming in and explosives are going off. You got to be relaxed there in that scene.
Or even just as simple as going to a third callback in a giant theater and only having 6 people in the audience. You still need to fill that entire theater. You still need to be relaxed for that situation.
Right. Or these days, what's even more likely is you're in your own house on Zoom, in your own little Zoom studio, and you've got a Zoom callback for could be a big commercial, could be a series lead or lead in a feature. You've got the directors and the producers on the other side of a Zoom. And if you're freaking out and getting all nervous in your own house, in your own home, in your own playground, in your own home theater, that's going to be a problem for you. So that's why like voice and speech classes, relaxation, Alexander, Linklater, even things like meditation and visualization, those are all really important so that you can hit those 3 tenets of acting, which are relaxation and then concentrating and then imagination. And then Tom also talks about the differences between 3 acting techniques. There's 3 different situations that we're often acting in, and they are, Brandon,
audition, rehearsal, and performance.
Right. It's kind of 3 different phases. You could be performing in an audition to get the job, or maybe you got the job already and you're deep into rehearsals with your scene partners or with your ensemble cast for a theater show, or it's opening night and it's showtime, baby, and the seats are packed and you're ready to rock in front of an audience. So there's some subtle differences. What would you say is the biggest difference between or a difference? How do you look at an audition performance differently than like an on the day performance?
Time, really. Sometimes for an audition, you don't have as much time as you would before the actual performance of it. And so it's knowing how to incorporate those performance techniques into a faster timeline, so that way you can execute your auditions with the same type of precision that you would for a performance.
Right. Yeah. And I think one thing that Tom often reminds us too is an audition is much like a first date. It's an introduction to you as an actor and to you as a performer. So part of that is showcasing all of your skills and abilities, maybe not all of them, because that's tough to do in a short amount of time, but it obviously depends on how much text you're crunching through. But taking the audition as the opportunity to put your best foot forward, show them your range of physicality, show them your range of vocal variation, your range of performance. Obviously doing your best to tell the story. It's always about the story. So it's not like, oh, if you're like, oh, I'm very physical, or I'm a great singer, so I want to move and sing in every audition, that might not work. But if there's a way for you to weave some special skills in there, or just to paint with all the colors, or to play the piano with all 88 keys and 88 notes rather than playing one note the whole time. And the challenge with auditions is often you don't have the full information. So you got to take the information that you do have from the script, and maybe some information that you've done some research on your the production team or the directors or the writers, so you get a feel for the tone of the show. But then what you got to do in an audition is often you just have to make strong choices, filling in the gaps of the information that you don't know. A lot of times actors get worried, well, I don't know who she is, or I don't know what's going on. Just make strong choices. And then when you book the job, they can say, well, it's funny you said this or did it this way, but this is actually what's going on here. And those gaps will be filled in a little later on. So I don't think you ever have to worry about that. But just the idea of the audition is your opportunity to show them that you're a player, and you want to show the range there, all within the constraints of the story and all to tell the story. But don't get caught up in things like, am I doing it right? Is this what they want? Is this, if they would just tell me what they want, then I could do that. You just got to make strong choices. Let them see your talent through your choices. As Tom often says, your talent is in your ability to make strong choices. That's really what you're showcasing. So we wanted to go through some of these guideposts. We're just going to cover 5 of them this week. There's actually 15. We'll outline 5. And why is this important? It's little tweaks that you can make to your monologues, to your auditions, to your performances. It could apply to a keynote speech. It can apply to a piece of music or a spoken word or a poem, any type of performance. You can take these 15 guideposts and kind of scientifically raise the dial on each guidepost in your performance, or raise the dial this way. I always think of it like one of these things here. I'm going to see if I can show you this. You see these things, one of these mixer boards. See how all these sliders are at the bottom. If there was 15 of those, I would liken those to the 15 guideposts. And you can look at every scene or monologue and be like, how can I raise these up? And what does that do? It'll just raise the impact or the effectiveness of your performance and make that scene even stronger. So we're going to talk about the first 5. Why are we doing 5 today? We've got 3 weeks leading up to this workshop with Tom. So we figured we'd do 5 today, 5 next week, and 5 on the podcast on the 12th. And then you can register to attend that masterclass with Tom, July 12th, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. We dropped the link in the comments here. And we'll get to Lynn's. Let's answer Lynn's question here. Lynn answers. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, pop that on. Lynn says, "How do you best demonstrate that via Zoom?" I'll just need context, Lynn. I'm not sure when that question popped up. So, can you clarify? Best demonstrate what via Zoom? And we'll answer that. While Lynn's asking that question, let's do the first guidepost.
Relationship.
Who are you talking to, and what is your relationship with them? And to go a little deeper with that is, the deeper and more specific you can be with all these choices, the stronger it's going to be. So is it just some guy that you're talking to, some stranger, or is it your best friend? Is it your wife? Or is it your wife that you deeply, deeply love, and it's the most loving relationship you've ever been in? But at the same time, you're having problems in the relationship, but you really love, so be very specific with that. And Tom's training and coaching is very rooted in love. Find the love in those relationships. A lot of people miss that, or often Tom will tell us that the negatives are always written. So it's very easy to look at a script and you can see negative language, or your interpretation could be like, oh, they're being sarcastic, or he's being cynical here. But your job as an actor is to find the positive and to find the love in every scene. And that can make your performance stand out, versus someone who looks at it and is like, oh, this is an argument. And they just wash the whole scene in argument notes. And this is just 2 people arguing, and it's angry, and there's no love in it. But that doesn't make sense, because how are they married if there's no, at some point there was love there. There's some kind of love. Do you want to talk more about relationship?
Well, I think let's get to Lynn McIntosh's question. She did reply, and then we'll come back to this. So your full ability during an audition, and I find that I'm not able to share the same level of energy and skill when in a Zoom audition.
Why is that, Lynn? Why is that you're not able to share? I mean, I get that you're not in the same room, but you are on camera. I mean, it's the same. It's essentially the same as a self tape that way. It seems to fall flat, Lynn says. I mean, I would say a couple things without, and Brandon, we'll throw it over to you too, is I think part of it is it begins with your setup at home. You want to be very comfortable in your home setup, and you want to be well rehearsed. When we have people, we often have people who don't have a great home setup, or they have lousy neighbors or loud neighbors, or they're living near construction, so they can't do the Zoom callbacks at home. So they'll book our studio and book one of our session directors to do the Zoom session here. And usually what they do is when they come in, we got it all set up. We run the scene. So we've already mapped out eye lines. We've mapped out their entrances and exits. We know their frame. They know their frame. So they know that, okay, here's the close up. Here's my medium. Here's my wide. So I think a lot of that is just being super comfortable with your own home setup. So you feel comfortable. You know exactly where your edge of frame is. You know exactly where all your eye lines are. So I would start there, because if it's a tech thing where you're nervous, or you're focused on the tech, or you're focused on like, can they hear me? Can they see me? Is my laptop on enough books that I've stacked on my kitchen table? Any of that stuff's going to take away from your performance. And of course, you want to be focusing on your performance and your performance energy. So that I would start there. Brandon, do you want to add to that?
And I think what it comes back to is relaxation. And I think you were coming to this point, Lars, about the relaxation of having your tech set up and ready to go. So that way you have nothing else to worry about but your performance. But I think the important thing to remember is that this is just an on-camera thing. And if you're able to find a place where you can stand up, either stack a bunch of books on top of each other, or like find something where your camera is eye level, and like make sure that you're coming into these Zoom auditions hot and ready to go and warmed up. I think a good vocal warm up would be really helpful. If you're able to find a reader for like 20 minutes before your audition, so that way you're going over the scene with someone else, that also mitigates things. Create a community. And that's the big thing that we've been doing here at Actors Audition Club, is we've been working at creating a community for actors so that they don't feel like they're falling flat in any audition, Zoom, in person, self-tape, or otherwise. What we're really going for is that sense of, I'm treating every audition the exact same way, and I have my own audition process and checklist. So that way, when I use that, it's just like a mechanic going in and doing and just tightening a bolt. So that way, when they do whatever they need to do, they're always doing their best at it. Right. And I think that's really important, especially for the mental challenge of just wrapping your mind around this new way of doing something, and this new way of exploring auditions is just finding the fun and finding a community. And the more you do that, the better things are going to feel for you.
Right. Yeah. So Lynn, hopefully that answers your question in a nutshell. Relaxation, more preparation, making sure your home setup and your tech is good there, and making sure that you have maybe someone to work with before those Zooms, so you do come in hot. There's no opportunity really in those Zoom auditions. Often it's one, maybe you'll get a retake. Yeah. But if you go in kind of tentative, not bringing it 100%, it can just be thank you, next. And then you're like, oh, well, that was just my warm up. But it's like, it's really got to be an on the day performance. I know we talk about the difference between an audition performance and like a game day performance, but you really got to be prepped. Be flexible enough to adjust if you get notes, and know that these choices are audition choices, not necessarily performance day on set choices, but you still got to be ready to rock. And that's why, again, a lot of our members here at Actors Audition Club, they'll book us either in the studio, or even if they're doing the Zoom from home, they'll book a session with us the hour before. So we just run it and work with it. And part of that too, Lynn, might be if you say, I feel like I'm falling flat. It's also having the courage, I would say, and boldness to make big choices and to make big moves, and not shrink everything down where you're like, oh, I that's too big, or that's too bold, or like, I think sometimes go for it. And what's a good indication of that? I'll pay attention to what are the things that scare me, or what are the things that I'll do it, and then part of my ego brain will be like, oh, that's too much, or oh, I don't know, that was a little wild, and maybe that was a little out there. And then I'll be like, nah, that fear is the reason I need to smash through it. That fear is the reason I need to keep that in there sometimes. So really listen to that side of you, and just, are you really going for it? Are you making those bold moves, or are you thinking in your head, what do they want? Oh, I think this is too much, or oh, I don't know if that's too, like, anything that's too passive or like mousy, kind of where I don't want to step on anything, like where if you feel like you're walking on eggshells, that's not really the vibe that you want to have.
I think one more difference that there is between Zoom auditions and in person is the waiting room,
Right.
especially in commercials, where it was basically just like a meet and greet, where you saw people that you had not seen in a couple weeks, and oh, hey, how are you? How's the kids? What's going on? And you don't have that with Zoom. You're just sort of in this ethereal waiting room. You don't know who else is going for it. You can't really size up. And that's the big difference. So I think find something that is, I like to think of it as you're waiting in your trailer. You're waiting in your trailer, ready to go to set. So like, treat it like you're just sitting in your trailer. You're waiting for the PA or assistant director to come over and say, okay, Lynn, we're ready for you on set. And then the Zoom room will pop up, and then you're just there, and they say, okay, are you ready, Lynn? All right, let's do it. Action. And if you think of it like that, you've already won the job, right?
And you may also incorporate visualization, meditation, affirmation type techniques. If you're the type that that your mind, your internal monologue starts flying, like with negative stuff. Oh, what if I don't get the line? What if I don't, like all the negative sort of what you might attribute to stage fright or stage anxiety or any of that kind of stuff. Performance anxiety, often that's just your own mental chatter talking you in or out of the performance that you're about to give. Great question, Lynn. Reminder, everybody watching live right now, all you got to do is comment anytime during the broadcast, and you're going to qualify to be entered into a draw. We're going to give away some prizes at the end of the episode. You can let us know right now what city you're watching from. Drop a comment in there if you want to ask a question or have a comment or anything you want to add to anything that we're ever discussing. But we got a great giveaway, but only the people who comment in the feed on Facebook or on YouTube will be entered into that draw. We've got some incredible prize giveaway softwares that we're taking for a test run at the end of the episode. So right now, make sure to comment for your chance. So that was guidepost number 1, was relationship. We answered Lynn's question. So yeah, relationship. Who are you talking to? What is your relationship? We talk to different people different ways. So if you're talking to a superior versus someone that you're very casual with, you're going to treat them differently. If you're talking to a stranger versus a best friend, that's going to be different. Someone that you really know or don't know. So that's where it all comes down to. It's relationship to your scene partner first. And then number 2 is,
let's continue this next week. Let's bring out our guest right now.
I would like to, I understand that, but I would like to finish these. So let's finish the guidepost
conflict.
To the plan.
All right.
Yeah.
Conflict. What am I fighting for? How am I meddling?
Right. So why are you there in the first place? Most shows and most plays don't happen on an ordinary day. Something's happening. There is some conflict. And even if it's not like conflict, like fight, there's something that you want, that your character wants in that scene. Why are you still on screen? Why are you still on stage? What are you fighting for? Those two alone, if that's all, like when we coach people, a lot of the times all we ask a question is about relationship, and then we ask a question about what do you actually want. And those two questions alone can take an audition from here up to here, like instantly, so quick. Shout out to Marco dropping in from Oshawa. Number 3, Brandon, number 3, guidepost number 3 is the moment before. You want to talk about that real quick?
What have you just done right before this scene? What can fuel you emotionally into this moment? Michael Shirtliff says in the audition book, no scene happens on an ordinary day, and no scene happens. No scene is at the beginning. Every scene happens in the middle of something else. So what can fire you up to get you into the scene, so that way you're there and you're hot and you're ready to go?
Right. Yeah, because something always just happened. You're just coming from somewhere, or you're sometimes scenes kind of start in the middle. So you got to be hot right off the top. That could be a great opportunity for a little improv moment. I'll just give you the example of you're at a party, it's at a wedding, and you're at the dance. You dance your way over, or off camera. You throw a line like, "Oh, I'll see you at the bar, 1 second," and then it's okay. Here's the scene, or even a little secondary action, something that you're doing. Like, are you walking into the scene and you're taking your coat off and putting your bag on the desk or something? Just something little. It doesn't have to be much. When in doubt, just enter and speak. But those little things, it's a huge opportunity to make your audition different than everyone else's, because your moment before, if it's something that you've improvised, is not scripted. It's going to be different. So if they watch 100 of these auditions and every one of them starts on the opening line and the person's there, but you add something a little different that obviously makes sense to the script and makes sense to the scene, but is just a little bonus moment, then there's a free look. And it's a pattern interrupt for the auditioners, meaning if they've seen the same thing over and over and over again, and then boom, something different on screen, maybe different viewpoints or a different even framing, you starting in an extreme close-up versus starting in a nice wide shot with some action. There's little things that you can do there. So that's guidepost 3. Guidepost 4 is humor. If you're not fun, you're done. Funny is money. Charming is disarming. So we're constantly, this is something that we do a fantastic job in, and it's partly because of Tom's training and coaching, is find the funny. Funny is money. And that doesn't necessarily mean being jokey or finding a joke or a punchline, but how can you bring out real life humor? We all have senses of humor, even in the worst of situations. At a funeral, someone will say something or some funny thing will happen, and it will bring everyone together and break the tension and break the ice. So where can you find the funny? And that's a huge part of our coaching, is just finding opportunities. Like, well, why say that the negative way? Why don't you say that, make that a little more positive? Often saying a line like you can say a line with sarcasm or cynicism or be a little catty, or you can say it purely innocently with a smile, and that ends up being funnier than trying to say it like it's a joke or doing something like that. But find the funny. And number 5,
opposites
might be my favorite. This is my favorite. It's like for everything in the scene, find the opposite. Everybody we love, there's something we hate about them. Often when we hate someone, there's something about them that we love. If it's a big, loud argument scene, what's the opposite of that? The opposite is a silence or a line that you really bring down. If it's big physically in points, what's the opposite of that? The opposite of that is stillness. So just constantly asking yourself, what's the opposite of this? And that will help make your scene, it'll help you make your scene a lot less predictable as well. Because you're always infusing the opposites, and that's life too. It's the idea of dark versus light, shadow versus light, yin versus yang, masculine versus feminine. all those things. So you find those different notes and the ebb and flow and the ups and downs of the scene. And opposites is something that once you start paying attention to it, you see it everywhere in the world too. It's kind of it's a universal principle as well, which is, I think, the reason I love it. What else can you say about opposites? I think it's a big one.
Where can you find something? It helps for comedy as well. Like, when are you saying something and doing something else?
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. So it's like, yes, I'd love to go to the date with you, or no, absolutely not. Even without the physical, like you can just say, I can just say, no, I absolutely hate your guts and I never want to do that with you, is funnier than, no, I absolutely hate your guts and I never want to do that with you. Like that's one choice, but the opposite, especially for humor, it's almost undeniable. Like it pretty much always works. Yeah. So where can you find any other examples of opposites? Vocally is a good way, maybe too. Vocal opposites. So maybe like everything in a low register, finding a high note.
Yeah.
And opposites could apply to viewpoints as well. If you're playing the whole scene in a wide, find a spot for a close-up. If you're playing the whole thing in an extreme close-up, find a spot for a wide, mixing it up, finding the opposites. I find that Guidepost 5 opposites is actually a guidepost that you can apply to every other guidepost and be like, where's the opposite in this one? Where's the opposite in that one? And it's great. And that's life too. It's like where you don't want to be doing one thing all the time. You want to occasionally find the opposite for that, or at least explore it, at least think about it. You don't have to keep it in the performance, but think about it, do it in a rehearsal and be like, where I'm playing this way. What's the opposite of that? And explore that. And you might end up keeping a little bit of it. And all of a sudden your audition's a little more dynamic. Shout out to Marco here. Marco from out in Oshawa. I've done some stand-up shows for Marco's production company. Just dropping in to see what this is all about. Marco from Oshawa. Miss having you out here for shows. Miss you too. Why don't you book another one? And I'll come see you. Let's do it, Marco. Reminder, to be entered for that draw, make sure to enter those comments in there. And so that's where we'll wrap it up on the guidepost conversation. Reminder to register for Tom Todoroff's masterclass. You can learn all this directly from him for free, July 12th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Can we drop that link in the comments again, Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
Great. And then now we have a special guest in the green room right now. We're going to bring her on because tomorrow night, that's Thursday, June 29th. 29th? Yes, Thursday, June 29th. We've got a special show here in Comedy Alley called Comedy in Spirit, featuring a comedian and a medium. And we've got the comedian backstage to come tell us what the show's all about. It's one night only, so bring her in here. Cheryl Poirier, also one of our fabulous session directors at Actors Audition Club.
Hey, how's everybody? Hang on, let me.
Fantastic.
There. Should I go back a little more? No, you won't be able to hear me. I'm just gonna be ahead. Speaking of opposites,
that's great.
My hair is long, yours is short.
I mean,
Funny,
I guess.
People.
Right? Yes. Opposites.
Speaking of opposites.
Yeah.
Small relationships. Yay. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
So tell us about this show. What's going on? We'll drop the ticket link. Make your big screen here, Brandon, for us.
Oh, you don't have to do big.
There you go. So for those people who don't know, what's Comedy in Spirit? What are they? Why should they come tomorrow? And I believe they should.
Well, so it's a really interesting show with a comedian and a psychic medium who is not here, but she knows this is happening because she's psychic.
I mean, she's a psychic medium. She didn't need to be here.
Yeah, she didn't need to. She's funneling information through me. No, so it's a really great show, and it's very unstructured. the only thing we know for sure is I open the show. That's all we know. And then depending upon who shows up, and then who shows up with them, right? Like, and that's kind of how the show goes. And Jen and I, so Jen is a wonderful, amazing person. She's a really great intuitive healer as well. But she does talk to dead people. But she's also really funny and witty. And her and I have this really great banter. And then it's like this 4-way conversation between myself and Jen, the audience, and whatever's going on with them. So it's comedium. It's a comedium show.
I like it.
Does that work?
Stand-up comedian.
Yeah, stand-up comedian show. And we do stand up the whole time. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how many times have you done this show? Is this the second version, or you've done a few iterations of it?
No, this is actually the second version. Like, this is our second, the second version, our second show. And because we didn't know what to expect, right? When Jen came to me and when Jen floated this idea to me, I had no idea what it would look like, which is also kind of fun. So I have like my suitcase full of material, and there's a lot that I don't get to, and then there's some that just shows up in the moment. So there's a real flow to it, and it's just a lovely evening. And we laugh. Speaking of opposites, we laugh, we cry. You know, it's all over the place, which is wonderful. Yeah, and people get a lot out of it.
Is there anything you can share from the last episode?
So the last one we had. So here's what we started the show, and I wasn't going to tell the story of when I sharded on stage, but I did, because the guy who was doing lighting and audio for our show was a guy who used to be around when I was doing a lot of improv. And so I was like, oh, so Rob
he was there for the shark?
He was there for the sharks. So I was like, I might as well share. Like, in my life, kind of nothing's off limits in my life, you know, because I have this, I've always told stories, and some of them are funny and some of them are sad, but when you tell them to people, and they're funny, right? So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I know about you, Cheryl, is you're an open book and you wear your shard on your sleeve.
And my pants. Yeah.
So this show, this is the kind of, like, in my head, I picture the kind of things like you've seen. Who's the guy? John Edwards? Was that
John Edwards?
That was kind of the famous one.
Teresa Caputo, right? Long Island Medium.
So is it to be expected that if people come, I mean, I guess you never know who shows up with them. So it's not like you can guarantee if you come that you're going to have a conversation with all your dead relatives. Depends where they are, if they want to come to the show as well. So you gotta buy your ticket, but then you kind of have to give your spirit relatives a nudge and be like, hey, I'm going to this thing in the alley. Fly over this way.
To be fair, Jen is a beacon. Like, she's this beacon. So it's kind of like, she has a this is going to sound really weird, but if you can imagine, she has a bunch of groupies already, but nobody can see them but her.
I love that.
And so they follow her around, like, you know how little kids follow around a soccer ball, like 5-year-olds follow around a soccer ball. Mm-hmm. That's like, Jen's the soccer ball, and like her fans are like all the little kids that follow her around, and they're like, oh God, you're here. Okay, you're here. And some, like,
except they're dead.
And I try. So it's funny because I try to be on the opposite end. Speaking of opposites again, look at that. It's everywhere.
Love it.
I try to be opposite of where she is, because I bring a lot of dead people with me too. And so sometimes she'll be like, Cheryl, stop your people. Stop your people. I'm like, stop my people. So it's, yeah. So if people, so here's the other thing too. I don't want people to be afraid, like, you're going to show up and Jen's going to see through you.
Right.
That's not how it goes.
You have to be willing participants.
You have to be a willing participant, and she will know. Like, she will stand in front of you and be like, okay, no, and then move on. So you're not going to get, your deepest, darkest secrets are not going to unfold in
Right.
the ether and Comedy Alley unless you want them to.
And she's doing that by like reading someone's energy, their vibe, their aura, that kind
Their
of thing.
vibe, their aura. I know she hears things and she sees things.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, I love the idea that there's always a bunch of spirits and ghosts following her around, which would make sense because if you're a ghost and you have a portal to the real world and you can have conversations with people through her, then why wouldn't you follow
Why
her
wouldn't you?
around?
It's like the TV show Ghost, right?
It
I
is.
love you see it's like,
It is.
like,
Yeah.
oh my God, someone can hear us. Yay!
So if you love the CBS sitcom Ghosts, which currently isn't shooting because of the U.S. writers' strike, and you want to get your fill of ghosts, come to Comedy Alley Thursday, June 29th for Comedy and Spirit. You can see Cheryl, the comedian, and also Jen, the medium.
Yeah.
And we'll have a great night here in the alley. It's a great venue, very intimate for that. So I'm excited
it's really
to.
nice.
And I'm also excited. Maybe there's some ghosts that have just been hanging around in the alley. I
Whoa.
don't know if anyone's ever been murdered in that alley. So
listen,
we'll see.
Jilly's was on the corner, right?
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah,
the story is about stuff that happened in Jilly's, right?
Well, so we're gonna have like some ghosts of ladies in the night roaming around.
Yeah, might be some dancing ladies that no one else can see. Sorry, but yeah.
So people can follow you on Instagram. The ticket link is in your bio. We dropped the ticket link in the comments here. That's tomorrow night. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow night, Thursday. If you're listening to this long into the future and it's the year 2046, you missed it.
Sorry, but it was a great show.
It was a great show.
That's the thing. Jen already knows it's going to be a great show.
Right. Maybe you're a ghost already yourself and you're ghost podcasting.
All of a sudden, the ghosts are like, "Oh, we know where we're going tomorrow."
We missed it. Yeah.
It could be
so
very
crowded. We'll drop that link. Tickets are available.
Yeah.
And it's at 8:00. We'll go to about 9:30. Super excited. It is one night only though, so I just want to reiterate that it is one night only.
Yes.
So yeah, it's going to be a great night. So grab tickets for that. Anything else you want to say to the living or the dead?
Come on out. It's going to be a great show. However it happens, it's going to be a great show. If only to hear me talk about sharding.
Right. And if you're a ghost, you don't even need to dress up.
No, you don't need to. And if you work out, you don't need to dress up at all.
Just wear pants. If you're a human being, wear.
I'm not. Listen. It's so hot in my apartment right now because I had to turn the air conditioning off. I'm actually not wearing pants.
Right. Well, also, if you're wearing pants and you shart, then you got to clean the pants. So,
but I will wear pants tomorrow. I will be wearing pants tomorrow.
Yeah, you've heard it here first. Cheryl will be wearing pants at Comedy and Spirit. And I will let you know. I don't know if you know this, Cheryl. I saw a ticket come through. Brandon Knox bought a ticket yesterday, and Brandon will be there.
Brandon, I'm so excited.
Are you hoping to? Is there anyone that you hope Jen is going to speak to, or you're coming in as a participant or as an observer, Brandon?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what spirits are following me around. We'll see.
I will tell you this, Cheryl. Most of my relatives are dead, so hopefully, I'm gonna shout out to all my dead relatives. Come on out to the show.
Come on out to the show.
We won't even charge you. No, if you're a ghost,
exactly.
It's ghosts are in free. Can we say that?
If your butt can't go in a seat, you're free.
Right. You just kind of gotta. You just kind of gotta hover.
Same with animals, by the way. The last time at the last show, the first person she connected with, she was like, she goes, "Wow, you lost your pet recently," and it was like, So she connects with animals too. We'll have Kleenex. Don't worry about it.
Wow. I love that. I feel like it's one of those shows where people are just, their minds are blowing, where they say something and they're like, how did you know that? There's no way anyone but her. Like, that was the thing that she only said to me and no one else. Like those kind of things. So I'm excited. So come have your mind blown. Comedy Alley, comedian and a medium at Comedy and Spirits tomorrow night, Thursday, June 29th at 8 p.m. Grab your tickets in advance online. We dropped the link in the comments there.
Awesome.
Amazing. Thank you, Cheryl. We're looking forward to it.
Hey, looking forward to seeing you guys too. It's been a while. Brandon, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Amazing. Yeah, that's going to be a really cool show. So once again, come check that out. And we also have our regularly programmed professional stand-up shows. Do we want to roll the clip first? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to roll a little Comedy Alley clip?
No, we're going to show a poster first, and then we're going to show a clip.
Okay, we're going to show a poster first. I'm ready for the poster.
Oh, wait. Yes.
All right. We're going to go out of order. Okay.
Yeah, let's change it. No,
there
wait.
we go. Wait for it. One more.
Wait for it.
Wait, no, that's not it.
No, that's still not it. Let's do Saturday first.
All right.
Let's do Saturday first.
Okay, you got the other one lined up, though, afterwards?
I'm going too soon. Yes,
okay.
I do. Go.
So this Saturday, July 1st, 8 p.m., Canada Day, we got a special weekend show. We got Anto Chan, we got Jeremy Dobsky, we got Nitish Sakuja, and I'll be there hosting. So come enjoy your Canada Day celebrations. No fireworks in the alley, please. Don't bring any fireworks. We can do fireworks afterwards, but come to the alley, grab tickets at laughingvikings.com/comedy alley. Get them in advance. That's a great show. Anto, Jeremy, Nitish, and myself. That's going to be a banger on Saturday night. And Friday, we have the Friday poster. Friday, June 30th, equally impressive. Come see Bob Rubin, Kathy Boyd, Jay Rainville, and myself. We do it every Friday, Saturday night at 8 p.m. So we've got the special show tomorrow, Comedy and Spirits, and then come join us for a regularly scheduled program on Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. in Comedy Alley. Go to laughingvikings.com/comedy alley to get tickets. Smash that ticket button. We can drop the ticket link for that. Actually, I'll do it right now. Do we have a banner for that? Get Comedy Alley tickets at laughingvikings.com. You know what? It's just laughingvikings.com. That'll get you there. So grab those tickets. Now, do we have a clip? Do we have clips?
Yeah, let's play a couple clips. Let's play a couple of clips.
Play a little clip here.
Yeah.
Is it a comedy show or some weird Saw-like hostage taking? He lured us in with a pug and wacky umbrellas. It's time to play a game. Oh, guys, no one's gonna get murdered. But I can't. I mean, honestly, I say that like to be hopeful, but I honestly can't. Like, how could I guarantee that? I will not murder anyone. You guys look like you're not the murdering type. Emily, you ever murdered anyone?
Not that I know of.
So far, so good. Not that I know of. Okay, yeah. Not that I know of. Okay, yeah. She is a bit of a sleepwalker, though. She sleepwalks. She's like, where you been? Just sleepwalking. How come you're covered in blood? That's meat blood. Meat blood. You, sir, your name? Ben. Okay. Murder-free?
Yes.
Also murder-free. You sure? Are you sure? Okay, absolutely 100% sure. Ever been murdered? No. That got Brandon. Not once? Not even once? Not one time? One time? I guess you could get, if you technically died and then, you know, people get killed and then they get resuscitated, that'd be cool. You're like, I've been murdered 3 times, but also resuscitated. You know, there's like that Rocky quote. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times it's not how many times you get murdered, it's how many times the hospital unmurders you and reanimates you. Ben, no murders. 3 out of 4. We're batting 750 right now. Don't ruin the streak. Your name? Your name? Casey. How many people have you murdered?
At least 5.
At least 5. But who's counting? I was partying. It was a phase. I was in college. Yeah.
Nice. Well, come on down to Murder Alley. Yes, we got ghosts tomorrow night, and who knows? I mean, I like to guarantee people's safety and say that no one will be murdered, but I can only control myself.
I mean, we might get confirmation tomorrow that there were a couple murders in the alley.
Right.
So who knows?
Yeah.
And then it's official. How do you feel about it being officially Murder Alley?
Well, we'll add something to the sign, like we'll add the word murder, but then cross it out and put comedy.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the ultimate
Featuring a real life murder.
That's the ultimate lemons to lemon meringue pie. You know, we took a murderous alley and we turned it into ha 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 alley. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
There you go. Do you want to talk about this next clip at all?
I don't even know what the next clip is. Is the next clip Die of Joy?
No, it's a friendship math.
French? I don't even know what this one is. So let's see it.
And it's a surprise for both of us.
Roll the clip.
Gabby and Gwen, Robin, Augusta. You're all friends. Were you celebrating? What's happening here? You seem like this is an upbeat night.
We're just all friends.
Somebody get married? What's happening?
No.
No? Somebody just get divorced?
We've just known each other for a long time.
Just knowing each other for a long time. How long?
That's a hard question. 15 years.
15 years?
15 years minimum.
15 years minimum.
20-ish.
They're saying 7 years. Who said-
We didn't all meet up.
You're like, I didn't know there was going to be a math question. This is an alley. Why is there a skill testing question here? Bet you guys are like bed miss. If we use bed miss. How does it, do we divide first? Somewhere between 7 and 29 years, I heard. You've known each other. You're not sure. Yeah. Just check Facebook. Facebook's keeping track of that for you.
Nice. Always a fun night. So you can come and enjoy an intimate night of fun with friends here in Comedy Alley. Each Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m., we feature comedians as seen on Netflix, Comedy Network, CBC, Crave, Hulu, HBO, and all the others. We always say that the Canadian comedians that you're going to see, they've done everything that they can do in Canadian comedy except leave the country. That's next on all of their bucket lists, is go elsewhere. But you can save them. You can save them from going to LA, which I believe is currently on fire, by coming to our little weird wacky alley and supporting live pro comedy in Toronto, in Riverside, Leslieville, every Friday, Saturday at 8 p.m. Come join us. Grab tickets at laughingvikings.com.
Yeah. And I think, to finish off this podcast today on podcast day, we need to finish things off with something uplifting, something dye-filled, maybe.
Ooh.
Possibly another clip.
Oh, we're going to roll another clip. Wow, that's a clip-heavy episode here. One of these days, we won't even have to do the podcast. We'll just roll clips.
Heavy section, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So before you roll this, one of my favorite parts, I'm a big fan of giveaways. I'm a big fan of prizes. I'm just going to put out to the world at some point in my career, I want to host a game show. Fucking Ryan Seacrest already took Wheel of Fortune from me. So it's not going to be Wheel of Fortune. I think it's going to be my own game show called Die of Joy. We've been doing it every night at the end of the shows here in Comedy Alley. So not only can you see some pro comedy, you can also win fantastic prizes playing Die of Joy. Roll the clip.
Die of joy! Die of joy! Die of joy! Never stop chanting. Die of joy! Die of joy! It is a number 2! Neil, you are the winner of an inflatable fart machine. Come on up here.
Neil is the fart machine.
Yeah! I got you. You farted. Neil farted. Neil farted. Neil farted.
Neil farted. Neil farted. Neil farted. Yeah, we go real highbrow at the end of the night, and often I'm giving away an inflatable fart machine, also known as a whoopee cushion. A whoopee cushion. You can come and whoop it up with a whoopee cushion. All right, final chance for you to enter the draw. We're going to start doing this at the end of every episode. You know what? Let's give away, since the Comedy and Spirit show is a special one-time only show with limited tickets, so we're not going to give away tickets to that one. We'll give away general admission tickets to Comedy Alley this weekend or next. If you can't make this weekend, you can come next weekend. So last chance, comment right now. Just throw any kind of comment into the comments. You'll be automatically entered into the draw. Tell us what city you're watching. Put your name in the comments right now. Everyone who's commented during this episode is going to be entered into the draw, and Brandon's going to bring it up here. And I think your odds are good so far. Brandon, we know how many people are in there. Does it say?
It says 6 entries.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's probably including us, maybe, is it? Is that including us?
I feel like it might be.
Well, if we win, we'll draw again. So
Yes.
share the screen. It's time to give away 2 tickets to Comedy Alley. Technology. This is exciting.
Okay.
Last chance to enter. Fire your names in. Share that screen. Here we
Here
go.
it is.
Wait for it. Can you make it bigger? Oh, there we go. And the winner is... We can't win, by the way. I won! Oh my God! I won tickets to Comedy Alley. All right. Well, we learned a little glitch. We learned a glitch in the system. Why don't we draw again? I think you can just
Draw
hit it.
again.
You can hit it again.
Okay,
Yeah.
draw again with 5 entries.
We're drawing again.
I did draw again.
Marco's
did.
like, this thing's rigged. This is bullshit. The podcast one. All right, we're gonna do it one more time. Oh, wait. Elaine might have gone in there. Elaine, last minute. Holy smokes. Elaine, you're from Ellesmere Island. Wow. Holy. We've never had anyone tune in from none of it. Thank you for joining us. That's amazing. Elaine Gaudreau, thank you for joining us. And let's do this again.
No. How did this happen? Draw again.
Well, one more. No, we'll do it again. So next time we do this, we will remove our names from the draw.
Lynn
McIntosh. Lynn McIntosh. You are the winner of 2 tickets to Comedy Alley. Lynn, Yahoo. Lynn, can you reach out to us? Shoot us an email at lol@laughingvikings.com. You can just make the subject winner, or you can hit us up on Instagram at Actors Audition Club and shoot us a DM there. But just follow up with us. We're going to send you a special link to your free tickets, but make sure to follow up with us and you can come visit us. Hopefully you're in Toronto regularly. If you're not, you can always pass those tickets away on to someone else that does live in the city. But we would love to have you come visit Toronto and visit Comedy Alley this weekend if you're available. Maybe next weekend if it's too short notice. But thank you for playing along. That was exciting. I like that. We're going to do that every week. But we'll do it so that our names aren't in the comments next time. Yeah. Feel good though. I mean, I won.
You won 3 times in a row, Lars.
3 times in a row. That's pretty good luck. Yeah.
No
I won tickets to I won 3 pairs of tickets to my own comedy show at my own venue. That's exciting.
Yeah. That you're working.
yeah. That I'm working. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Reminder, register for Tom Todoroff's masterclass July 12th at 7 p.m. We dropped the link in the comments for that. It'll be in the show notes in the show episode description. Grab tickets to Comedy in Spirit tomorrow night to see a comedian and a medium. Thank you for Cheryl for joining us today. And you can grab tickets to our regular pro comedy shows Fridays and Saturdays. Great chat. Remember to go out there and put your best work out there. Make sure that you're putting all your efforts into your auditions and really ultimately being your best self and putting your best performances on tape. No point in holding back. Just do your best, be your best. You got this. Make it happen. All right. That was episode 146. Great job, everybody.
Thank you, and have a fantastic week.
Yes. And congratulations, Lynn McIntosh. Woo, woo, woo. Ding, 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 ding. Lynn McIntosh, you are a winner. Gagnon. Winner. Gagnon. Production value. Man, we've come a long way.
All right.
You did it.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you next week, everyone.
Bye-bye.